Scotty, ever since we got this bike, we have been absolutely bombarded with questions about it. From our first impressions content that we put up on our site to every time we go out to the trails, people are asking all sorts of things about this thing. People are having their like kind of minds blown. Haven't seen a bike quite like this. So in this video, let's go through and unlock some of the questions that people have been asking us and really explore how this bike rides. So you've been riding this bike for a couple of months now.
Yep.
Tell us about the big burly Fantic.
Mate, you're definitely right. We've definitely had a few questions. It's a very unique bit of kit.
Eye-catching, isn't it?
Mate, 100%. Like, it's a very, very different looking bike, straight out of Italy. If you've been keeping up to date with our YouTube channel, you've seen we did an initial sort of look at this bike, and it's definitely got its own unique sort of Euro style about it. So yeah, we've definitely been getting a ton of questions about this new Fantic, which is the Australian distributors Vertigo Sports, which are responsible for a ton of cool brands. They were kind enough to swing us this XCF 1.8, which is their mid-range long travel enduro e-bike.
Heap of travel on this thing, right?
Yeah, 180 back, 180 front. They offer this in a 190mm version as well.
Wow, so it's a real big mountain eating bike. We can see that obviously we've got the coil shock there.
Yep.
Now, one thing, this bike comes in a bunch of different specs as well, right?
Yeah, so this is their mid-level one. They do, you know, these guys are pretty well known in Europe, especially for doing a ton of longer travel EMTBs. And this is their 180mm version, as I just said. Do a 190mm version, they do a short travel version. They also do a downhill version of this as well.
With the triple clamp forks.
With the triple clamp fork as well, yeah.
Now, one of the things that people are probably going to be opting for this bike is because obviously it's power unit. This is the Brose motor, a very, very popular and extremely smooth power unit.
Yep.
Hit us with the figures and what sort of battery this thing comes stock with.
So this thing comes stock with a 720 watt battery, and the Brose motor itself is up to 90 newton meters of torque, so a little bit more than the average. I mean, we've seen some other e-bikes come out with a little bit more, but yeah, definitely packs a punch. And it comes with 4 power settings, which is adjustable by this neat little unit on the handlebar as well.
Yeah, I really like that display actually. I was looking at the bike before and it's turned on.
Yep.
A really cool little display that they've got there. I mean, Brose really, you know, class leading for a number of years there with a relationship with Specialized where they really developed and honed the motor. Really, really reliable power unit, and definitely, yeah, as I said before, heaps of grunt. You said it's got 90 newton meters, and obviously 720 watt hours. So that's a good amount of juice without being ridiculously heavy on the bike, right?
Yeah, it's not a super heavy bike. I mean, it's not the lightest e-bike on the market as well, but
bikes like this aren't designed to be like that, right?
Nah, like for a big travel e-bike, if anything, you know, sometimes, as we've seen in the past, a little bit of weight in these keeps these bikes very planted. So they do obviously ride differently to your naturally aspirated whips, but for an EMTB in this range of travel and this power output, and also with a big 720 watt battery, they're pretty comparable to the rest of the market.
Absolutely. So we were saying before, it's got a kind of a, I wouldn't say quirky, but certainly quite a Euro kind of design check. That big aluminium frame, really, really cool with the kind of striking lines of the front triangle here. But one of the things we've been asked about so many times when we're out on the trail stopping is those chainstays. Yeah,
the carbon sort of flex, chainstays. If you actually look at these in the flesh, like, and the bike overall, like you get one of these in the picture, you go, on a picture or on your laptop or your PC at home or whatnot, and you look at these and you go, geez, that's an interesting looking bike. But when you actually have a look at one of these in the flesh, they're pretty well put together, eh?
Oh, absolutely. They're like, you can tell like little, from the welds to all the like little design quirks and whatnot, like these things are impressive for sure. And certainly 100%. Like of that high end. But these chainstays, if you do see one of these in the flesh, take a look at this thing and feel it for yourself, because it's super unusual. As I said, the rest of the frame's alloy, but we've got the carbon seat stays there, which have obviously that flex built into them.
Yep.
Now, talking of that, how does the bike kind of ride for a 180mm? That's a shit ton of travel, right? But obviously we've got enough power, so it doesn't so much matter on the. How's it pedal? How's it kind of handle the whole trail?
Yeah, it's good. Like, you know, we get to obviously ride a ton of bikes at the MAG, a ton of e-bikes over the last few years, and funny enough, when you get on board some bikes, they take a little bit of setting up, and obviously this being an interesting looking bike, I was a bit curious to see what it was going to ride like. And suffice to say, once you jump on this bike, it actually feels very, very comfortable. It's a mullet setup as well, which I like. So 29-inch front, 27.5-inch back, super aggressive. Obviously the extra travel, especially on our local steep, rough, gnarly trails, as everyone knows at home. The Blue Mountains is definitely renowned for putting bikes and components through its paces, and this thing's lived up to the challenge. I've actually really enjoyed riding this rig.
Something like this is going to be perfect for somewhere like here, or taking to Threadboat, something like that.
100%, right? Yeah.
So would you say it's a full-blown downhill bike?
I wouldn't say that, it's sort of in between. I wouldn't really even call it an enduro bike. I'd call it more of a free ride e-bike, so to speak.
Adventure bike.
Yeah, dude, like with the motor and whatnot, you know, you're not too fussed about the angles and the big travel because you've got that assistance pedaling up the hill. But it's pretty roomy cockpit. It's pretty easy to sort of get your weight over the front end, so that front end doesn't wander on the climbs and whatnot as well. I mean, again, that comes down with setup and, you know, being a mid-spec bike. Like, are there some things with this bike that, you know, personally I might change? Yeah, possibly, but straight out of the box, like bang for your bucks in comparison to some other e-bikes in the market, these are pretty damn competitive.
Yeah, I was exploring the Vertigo's website, and there's, as I said, a bunch of different models that Fantic bring into Australia and a bunch of different spec lists. Tell us a bit about who this, like the style of rider that we might be watching this video and pitch themselves on this bike. What sort of rider is going to really suit this bike?
Definitely a gravity junkie.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, with that said, there's nothing stopping you going for, you know, a trail ride on this and whatnot as well. But if you come from a, you know, a gravity background, you know, you're a downhiller, you're an enduro rider and whatnot, free rider, and you want an e-bike you can definitely huck, then this is the thing.
This is the thing.
Yeah, definitely.
There you have it. As I said, one of the most striking, visually looking e-bikes we've tested here at the magazine for a while, and definitely a bike that we've had a shitload of questions asked us about.
Yeah.
Impressive all-rounder, and definitely leaning toward that heavy gravity as 100%. You'd expect from all that. So, mate, we're going to be reviewing a few more Fantics here at the mag and on our channel. So keep an eye on if you're impressed or you're curious about this Italian brand. And if you get the opportunity to check one of these out in the flesh, I know Vertigo are really progressive in all the, like, do lots of demos and whatnot. They're always at events. Definitely worth checking these guys out. It's one of the brands that's, you know, a little more sort of unique and boutique, but when it comes to e-bikes, mate, they're making some fantastic machines, right?
Yeah, super good. Rides really, really well. Value for money, it's excellent. You know, reliability, and you've got excellent after-sales service with the guys at Vertigo Sports in Australia. Those guys are a pack of legends. We've had a ton of fun working with those guys so far with a bunch of their brands, and the Fantic bike's no different. Really good quality product, and if you were going to invest in one of these, I can guarantee you're not going to be disappointed. Really good.
Well, there you have it. Stay tuned to our channel for plenty more e-bike content coming your way.
You.